the game total is set at 222. Jules, chase or fade, it goes over. Now, 3 of the 5 games in the finals have gone over this line. Game 3 was a triple away from going over. So what do we think?
Yeah, the total is right on. Like, we've seen so many games at this point. I think the total gets harder and harder to bet and easier for a book to set. So this is more of a gut call. I think things tighten up for both of these teams here. A lot of pressure on Milwaukee to close this out at home. A lot of pressure on Phoenix to take care of the ball, maybe slow down some of these possessions on the road in a must-win. Neither of these teams have been here. None of these guys have been in this situation, other than Jay Crowder playing in an NBA Finals that he seemed pretty destined to lose to a LeBron and Anthony Davis Lakers team. So nobody's been in this clutch of a moment in their career. And I think that's going to show. I think things are going to tighten up. We've seen some really good shot making along the way in this series. But yeah, I think Chris Paul is going to slow down some possessions. I think Milwaukee's going to tighten up at times at home. Just looking at the Suns, like when we thought the Suns were going to close out the Clippers in game 5 at home, and they looked so tight in that moment, like to clinch an NBA Finals appearance at home. I think we're going to see some similar stuff from Milwaukee, and we can't overrate the desperation that Phoenix has in this spot. Milwaukee is going to really, really want to win at home, and you don't want that game 7 on the road, but they don't need to win. The Suns need to win, and I think that desperation just at this stage of the season is going to show. So I think that we get a grinder in this one without really even using any numbers to back it up.
So are you going over or under? You didn't really answer that part.
Everybody knows what I just said. Under, right?
Okay. Just wanted to
I don't know.
get it for the people. You just said it all without actually saying it.
I'm sorry if I was unclear there. Under.
It's okay.
Under the number.
Nick, are you going to go under the number as well?
I'm going under the number, which I know could be a little counterintuitive when you consider that these teams went over by 20 points in game 5. But all you have to do is look at the shooting numbers. I mean, just unbelievable shot making. At one point, there were 13 straight possessions where each team got at least a free throw. And more often than not, it was a super difficult, mid-range pull-up by Devin Booker or Chris Middleton. Julian, spot on. In these type of games, it's not a game 7, but it's going to feel like a game 7. And in those type of games, teams tend to slow down the pace. And this isn't a series that's been played at a really fast pace anyway. I mean, the pace in game 5 was only 91.5, which is pretty low, especially for a game that had that many points. But again, it was just a crazy shooting performance by both teams that simply is not remotely sustainable. But I think Julian's right. I think we're going to see Chris Paul attempt to slow things down. Phoenix is going to emphasize getting a bucket on every single possession that it can. I think we're going to see the same from Milwaukee, maybe not intentionally. You can't replicate the need to win a game. Phoenix needs to win this game. Milwaukee doesn't need to win it. And I think the Bucks will tell themselves they need to, but deep down, you can't replicate the actual, we're going to get eliminated if we don't win this game feeling. So I expect Phoenix, to come out and try to control this game as much as they can. I don't think we see, this shooting onslaught from Milwaukee's role players. They shot 50% from 3 in game 5. I think it's a tighter game. I think it's a slower game, and I think it's a lower scoring game.
Kenny, what do you think? Are you going to go under the number 3 for 3?
Yeah, I will. And I will save you the talk. I love that Julian was like, let's talk about everything except for the numbers here. We talked
numbers
about
are
enough.
Overrated, Kenny. We all know that.
How much there's pressure. I agree with you. Sometimes I don't talk about the numbers, but I'll just give you some pretty damning numbers here for the over anyway. I mean, it's bad for the over, good for the under, right? That's what that sentence means. The pace was 91.5 last game. I mean, that is the lowest pace we've seen all series long. I realize that the over has gone over 3. The over has hit 3 times in this series, but they've really been fluky. If you look at the pace, it's been very slow. 94.5, 97, 97, and 91.5. This is a Bucks team that was consistently operating over 100 as a pace rating this year. They were top 3 in pace. They thrived in transition. This has just not been that series for them. They've played a lot of half-court sets. And when you look at the offensive and defensive ratings for Milwaukee, and this is where it gets really interesting for me, this was their second best offensive outing since game 2 of their opening round series against the Miami Heat. Conversely, it was their second worst defensive performance after they gave up a gazillion points to the Nets in game 2 of that series. this is just not the basketball that Milwaukee's played. They've played very good defense all postseason long, and they have really struggled in the half-court sets all postseason long. So I would believe that last game was a complete outlier. I would continue to take the under here. The under has been the right bet almost in every single game, although it's only hit once and pushed once. I love this under. I think it's a lock tonight, and I really like it if it goes to a game 7 as well. I would expect it to come down a little bit, but I think you're getting a very good price here considering the game was so high scoring last time out in game 5. I think you're getting a really good price on an under in game 6.